In the world of the ultra-high net worth individual, a new metric for success has emerged. It isn't the length of a hull or the brand on a lapel. It is the signature gap, the distance between what you own and what the world knows you own. While social media culture has turned wealth into a public performance, a quiet panic has gripped the $100 million plus class. They aren't just protecting their capital. They are paying millions to erase their presence. Today, we go inside the verified shift toward wealth camouflage to understand why the people who own the world are suddenly prioritizing invisibility. For a century, luxury brands relied on the Veblen effect, the economic theory that demand increases as price rises because the product serves as a better status signal. But as we move toward 2026, market analysts are seeing a filtration of that signal. We know this because publicly available financial reports and investor calls from groups like LVMH and Hermes show a strategic pivot toward VIX, or very important clients. These brands are increasingly moving their highest value inventory into unlisted, invite-only apartments where the public cannot even see the products being sold. This mirrors the 14th century sumptuary laws, which legally restricted certain fabrics to royalty. Today, the law has been replaced by allocation histories. You cannot buy certain watches or bags simply because you have the money. You must be vetted by the brand first. This is driven by the psychological concept of counter-signaling. In high-status circles, individuals avoid traditional status symbols to distinguish themselves from new money. This is why the growth of unbranded high-end goods, luxury items with no visible logo, is currently outperforming traditional logomania brands in major markets. Visibility is no longer a marketing tool for the elite, it is a liability. In an era of social volatility, a visible billion is a target for litigation and celebrity pricing in business deals. The lesson for the professional is that equity is more powerful than fame. While the middle class is encouraged to build a public brand, the ultra-wealthy teach us that true power lies in the hidden hand, controlling assets without the baggage of a public identity. If you want to move $100 million in 2026 without a public paper trail, you don't use a traditional bank. You use a non-place. Investigations by the Financial Times and The Economist have documented the scale of the Geneva Freeport. This high-security warehouse exists in a customs-free zone and is estimated by trade analysts to hold over $100 billion in tangible wealth. Inside, a masterpiece can be sold from one billionaire to another without ever leaving the building, avoiding public registries and customs friction. This system mimics the medieval Knights Templar, who allowed pilgrims to deposit wealth in London and withdraw it in Jerusalem via letters of exchange. It was the birth of mobile wealth, decoupling your net worth from your physical location. Under the economic principle of the fungibility of alternatives, ultra-luxury assets like fine art and rare spirits have become a more discrete currency than the US dollar for large-scale, off-market transfers. This matters because a massive portion of global wealth is becoming invisible to traditional GDP trackers. This shadow liquidity influences global art and collectible prices in ways the average investor cannot see. For the ordinary professional, the takeaway is portfolio portability. In an unstable global economy, the most valuable assets are those that can be liquidated or moved without relying on a single local banking system. In 2026, the truly successful have moved to ghost infrastructure. FAA public records show a surge in enrollments for the LAD and PIA programs. These allow private owners to block their flight data from public tracking websites. Furthermore, companies like NetJets report record demand for fractional ownership. Instead of owning one jet with a trackable tail number, the elite buy shares in a fleet, flying on a different plane every time to remain anonymous. This is a behavioral response known as risk compensation. As public flight trackers became popular, the elite compensated by increasing the complexity of their physical movements to protect their information edge. If a billionaire's jet is spotted in a specific city, it signals a merger or a deal to the market. By hiding their movement, they protect the arbitrage of their business intelligence. This highlights the importance of information hygiene. The more you broadcast your moves on social media or professional platforms, the more you invite competition and front-running. Success is often best achieved in silence. Looking toward 2030, The smart money is moving from hiding their assets to de-indexing their lives. Based on the rise of right-to-be-forgotten laws in Europe and the emergence of specialized dark PR firms, we are seeing the birth of a new industry, digital ghosting. These firms don't just manage a reputation, they delete it. They use SEO suppression and legal de-indexing to ensure that a search for a family name returns no data. The final truth of 2026 is that in a world where attention is the common currency, anonymity has become the ultimate luxury. Wealth used to be a shout. Now, it is a whisper. The $100 million panic isn't about losing money. It's about losing the target on your back. Because in the 21st century, the only thing more expensive than $1 billion is the ability to pretend you don't have it.